First of all, what do we mean by a killer thesis statement? Should this thing be armed and dangerous? Well, kinda. No, we don't want to see your thesis statement show up on the evening news. But your thesis statement should aim to kill, with eloquence, suspense, intrigue, originality, and clarity. Here's an example. Humans are not genetically required to be meat eaters, so vegetarianism is the only moral choice to avoid the senseless killing of animals. It states a valid point, expresses a strong opinion, and can be supported with facts. Doesn't mean it's necessarily true, but it can definitely be debated. A thesis statement is that thing at the very beginning of your paper that tells your reader what this whole thing is going to be about. Right out of the gate, it tells your reader roughly what elements you will develop in the coming paragraphs and exactly how you feel about it. The thesis is the most important part of your essay. It's the heart, soul, and brain of your paper. Once you've got that puppy figured out, you're at least halfway home. How do you get to this promised land? Well, first you got to establish an issue or problem. Think humankind's negative effects on rainforests, the factors that enable politicians to become corrupt, the slow death of the film industry, anything ripe for the picking, and preferably something that is not without a little controversy. The thesis shouldn't be something like, the sun makes it hot outside, because you're not going to hear much argument from anyone on that point. Instead, it should be something interesting, something that perhaps your reader hasn't previously considered. Don't hold back, go right for the gut. To make sure you've got an interesting topic, ask yourself questions someone else might ask you. Play devil's advocate with yourself until you're certain you've covered all the bases. Is it something only you would find interesting, like how affectionate your dog is right after you finish walking him? Or would it appeal to a wide range of readers, like, anything having to do with primetime television or, what's their name, the Kardashians? Is it something that can be argued empirically, like the rise and fall of the stock market? Or is it pretty much just going to be pure opinion, like what the best color is? Keep in mind that you're not just laying down the facts, you also want to get your message across. So be sure to express your thoughts on the issue. Take a strong position. It's not enough to state that for the last 20 years, America has actually become more racist than it was in the 1990s. If your position is that, maybe, I don't know, could be, who cares? It's an intriguing proposition, but it's not going to go anywhere if you plan on being wishy-washy. Either argue strongly for or against the idea. It's the only way you're going to bring your reader to their knees. Yeah! So what's a good thesis and what's a bad one? Okay, here we go. Good thesis. World travel is an essential element in any young person's well-rounded education. Bad thesis. There are some great places to visit in Europe, dude. Good thesis. More than anything else in our society, video games are responsible for the dumbing of America. Bad thesis. People are dumb. Good thesis. When an elderly person is deciding on a pet, adopting a cat is a far better option than adopting a dog. Bad thesis. Cats rule. Dogs rule. Get the idea? It should be broad enough that a large portion of your audience will be able to relate, but specific enough that you can zero in on a particular topic and really dissect it. Finally, you can't just state your thesis, drop the mic, and walk off stage. You'll need to bring some supporting points to the table. So be prepared to back your thesis up with some actual factual pieces of evidence. And while quality is certainly more valuable than quantity, have at least 3 supporting points. Any less, and your thesis is going to be a bit flimsy. Put all this together and you should have a killer thesis statement. If you're absolutely stumped and can't come up with one on your own, you can borrow ours. It gets out on parole in about 3 months.
Big Fat Review. 1. Establish an issue or problem. 2. Express your own opinion on the issue. 3. Introduce supporting topics. 4. Have at least 3 supporting points.